Welcome to Animal Atlas. Come with us around the globe and explore the animal world and its jungle animals and desert creatures. We'll meet wildlife on the savannah and see our underwater friends. And animals from the Arctic Circle. Anywhere, everywhere animals live. It's always an adventure. Today on Animal Atlas, we're going to ask the question, who's domesticated? And who's just tame? And who's not either one, no matter how we might try? Here, boy.
Nice fish.
Sweet! First, what is domesticated exactly? Let's take the horse as an example. That okay with you? The horse has been a domesticated animal for at least 5,000 years. Sure, there are wild members of the horse or equid family. The zebra, for example. This undisputed champ of black and white stripes, the great nomadic grazer of the African savanna. But today, we're talking horses of the barnyard, the trail, the paddock, the ring. Those stately show horses and beloved pets. Domesticated animals are those whose life cycle, physiology, and collective behavior has been altered as a result of human control for multiple generations. The key things to realize about domestication is that it takes time, as in thousands of years, and it concerns a population or species as a whole. Taming, on the other hand, refers to a single animal. At the zoo or animal park, it's possible to meet a tame lion, or a tame jaguar, or a good-natured bear, a gentle python, a serene tarantula, or to come across a lovely ring-tailed lemur who will eat out of your hand, or a black and white ruffed lemur who will respond to sincere human affection, just like any beloved pet we may know. Gibbons, the engaging small ape, often make human friends. Though it's easy to understand why when we pop into Gibbon Cafe to see what's cooking. Ah, good stuff. Even alligators can view us as a source of food delivery and can be tamed. Well, almost. But alligators and wild cats, no matter how much we may love and care for them, will probably never be domesticated. Tame? Some individuals, absolutely. Other individuals? No way. Though scientists argue over the criteria for domesticity, there are certain absolutes. The animal must have something we want or need. Dogs were the first species to be domesticated back around 13,000 BC. What good were dogs to ancient peoples? Probably the same as today. They follow us everywhere, guard us unselfishly, provide loving and lifelong companionship, and when these puppies grow up, they too can act as our bodyguards and alert us to dangers. But pet, or working dogs, and horses are the exceptions to the reasons behind why most early domesticated animals were invited into human habitations. Historically, what we needed or wanted from animals was a source of food or valuable commodities. Like what? Let's visit the animal who was probably domesticated next, the goat. A good 10 to 12,000 years ago, Stone Age man spotted this hardy mammal and said, "Goat, good," and saw that this animal's hide would not only be a source of clothing, but that the goat could also provide meat and milk, not to mention entertainment in the barnyard, or cave yard. There are a number of different domestic breeds of goats, and they come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The Nubian goat is recognizable by its long pendulous ears and Roman nose, while the pygmy goat, with its squat, round body, is unmistakable. What is a breed? That's a domesticated concept, all right. A breed is a group of animals that have been bred, with us as overseers, over a long period of time to look similar in color, size, and conformation, and can pass these traits along to their offspring, like this paint horse has passed the splash of paint coloring and blue eyes to her offspring. In the wild animal world, there are no breeds, just species and subspecies. So in terms of breeds of goats, some are short and stocky, some are tall and lean, and colors vary widely. But whatever they look like, as domesticated animals, goats today are still the undisputed champs of Battle of the Barnyard. The challenger wastes no time. Oh, that must have hurt. But he's not backing down. Another resounding blow. Wait a minute, it looks like this is going to disintegrate into a brawl. Will it be 3-1? No, it's over, and it's a tie. That's the way I'm calling it, Billy. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll meet some more favorite domesticated animals. But first, let's see if we can guess this animal fact. What is not true about goats and sheep? A, they were domesticated close to the same time. B, they are both ruminants. C, they both have beards. Or D, they are closely related. The answer coming up when we return to Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? What is not true? Goats and sheep? The answer is C. Both goats and sheep don't have beards. Only male goats, called bucks or billy goats, have those distinguished goatees. Some goats are obviously goats, as these woolly creatures are clearly sheep. But this woolly goat looks a lot like, well, a sheep. Actually, sheep and goats are both ruminants, or grazing cud chewers, who are closely related. Just remember, only male goats have goatees. Goat-tee. Get it? And most male sheep's horns usually curl, though this happy and hornless flock is made up of all females, called ewes. While a domestic goat's horns are straight. Of course, many goats are dehorned at an early age to prevent injuries in the barnyard. Though both goats and sheep are herd animals, sheep have taken the idea of flock living to its zenith. The flock that grazes together travels together in a tight-knit bunch, wherever they're headed. What's the idea behind a flock? Safety in numbers. Safety from whom? The wolf, the mountain lion, and even the coyote. Sheep were domesticated about 11,000 years ago for much the same reason as goats, for their meat and milk, but in the sheep's case, for their wool. Sheep can be shorn or get a haircut without destroying the animal, so as a source of textiles, the sheep is a champ. These amazing Navajo sheep can grow 12 inches of wool per year. That's a lot of sweaters. The llama, another of the ruminant crowd, is from South America. This domesticated animal has provided us with meat and hides, and this long-necked mammal is, not surprisingly, related to the camel, and has also been used by mankind as a pack animal. The llama is too small to ride, like a horse. A full-sized horse. But this sure-footed beast of burden can go without water for days and can carry packs weighing more than 100 pounds for 15 miles at a stretch. Llamas are intelligent and reasonably docile, and their fleece can be exceptionally beautiful. But llamas can be as stubborn as a donkey and have been known to lay down when a pack is too heavy. Llamas as pack animals have been enjoying a comeback in the world of recreational hiking. But llamas also make good pets and a lovely addition to any ranch setting or barnyard world. Pigs, too. an animal domesticated 10,000 years ago, are a prime food source called pork. Sorry. But pigs, like Mabel and Esmeralda, a pair of pot-bellied pigs, can also make good and interesting pets. They can share a barnyard with other key farm animals, notably chickens and turkeys. And though pigs have what looks like a "don't mess with me" expression, this look really means, "Have you got any food with you?" Okay then, if you don't, I got things to do. Just because an animal looks like a domesticated animal doesn't mean it has a domestic history with us humans. Just ask the zebra. Collared peccaries from the Americas look a lot like pigs, but they're not actually a type of pig, and they're not domesticated either. Nor do they have the disposition to make them a likely candidate for domesticated life. Domesticated animals all have something else in common. They have a good temperament, which we define as getting along with us. Domestic animals can't be aggressive toward humans. And we'd like to think they like us, even love us, and prefer to live with us than in the wild. Here, a horse weighing over 1,000 pounds stands by, while his owners fashion a bridle out of a piece of twine. The horse could bolt and flee, but this young rider, riding bareback and controlling the huge animal with basically a flimsy piece of string, is not afraid, nor should she be. Humans and horses have been sharing their lives for more than 5,000 years. It's been a long and happy union. We often ask horses to do things they wouldn't necessarily do if they had a choice. But horses epitomize the cooperative nature of the domestic animal. So, are all domestic creatures loving to us, like the dog, or the cat, or the noble horse? If the domestic animal is also a pet, or beast of burden, then yes, that's what we expect. But domestic animals also are classified as livestock, with, for example, pigs, llamas, and goats falling quite easily into both categories. Livestock, also called farm animals, are animals that have been domesticated for food. Temperament is important where livestock is concerned too, but only so that the animal isn't aggressive toward us. Though some farm animals walk a thin line. Does this mean that all farm animals are something we eat? Not necessarily. Chickens can be raised just for the eggs they lay. Though in the past, sheep were used for a food source, these Navajo sheep, respectively named Louise, Henrietta, Luna, Tina, Tony, and Turtle Dove, are beloved animals whose job is just to grow wool. Though ostriches have been raised for their meat, their feathers are also prized. And their eggs can be consumed in the same way a chicken's eggs can, provided there are a good dozen people at your breakfast table. When we come back to Animal Atlas, we'll meet some more animals in the barnyard. But first, let's see if we can guess this next animal fact. What is the most important criteria for a domesticated animal? A, ability to breed in captivity. B, species longevity. C, inability to return to the wild. Or D, a winter coat. Don't go away. The answer coming up right after this on Animal Atlas. We're back. Did you guess the right answer to our question? What is the most important criteria for a domesticated animal? The answer is A, the ability to breed in captivity. Just think of some of our favorite domestic animals. Puppies and foals abound. The farm is one big happy family. This isn't to say that all captive animals who breed in captivity are domestic animals. They aren't. For example, there's a lot of primates who make families while living in captive settings, from lemurs, to gibbons, to gorillas, to our orangutan and her infant, to bonobos. But domesticated is the last word that comes to mind when looking at a face like this. Because so many of these animals are endangered, we are lucky that they can breed in captivity. The cheetah and the giant panda, for example, are two endangered species who don't breed well when not in the wild. Remember, for us to claim that an animal is domesticated, we need to control or even manipulate the breeding for size, coloring, quality of coats, and temperament. For many generations, until, voila, the perfect domesticate. We haven't yet mentioned one of the most important kinds of livestock in the world. Know what it is? Cattle. Some cattle were traditionally raised for beef, milk, and prestige, like the Watusi cattle, referred to as the cattle of kings. And once considered sacred, these cattle have an ancestry that can be traced back 6,000 years. What's so special about the Watusi? Is right there on their heads, the largest and most impressive set of horns of any breed of cattle. Some horns have measured 8 feet from end to end. It's no wonder the Watusi walks with a sway in its step. In fact, in the 1960s, there was a famous dance called the Watusi. The swinging and swaying looked a bit like this.
Do the Watusi, side to side. Do the Watusi.
Let your horns be your guide. Named after these cattle?
Maybe. Why not?
The Watusi cattle come from Africa, so seeing them on the same grasslands as the giraffe and the eland antelope is not as strange as it seems. And those horns? They are formidable weapons against predators. Though in captivity, a huge head of horns can make dining with friends both difficult and dangerous. Not all cattle have such massive horns. And not all cattle are predominantly meat sources. Just ask the dairy cattle. At the dairy farm, the answer to the question, got milk, is always, sure do. These Holstein Friesian cattle, often just called Holsteins, are the most common breed of dairy cattle in the world. Developed in the United States from stock imported from the Netherlands, these familiar black and white cows constitute 90% of the world's dairy population. How many cows work the worldwide milk machines on a daily basis? More than 10 million at last count. What about a single Holstein cow? The average happy cow produces roughly 1,400 gallons of milk every year. That's a lot of milk. Dairy farming is big business. And though mechanization has helped, cows, like any other domesticated animal, need personal care. Who's domesticated? Lots of familiar animals. But plants can be domesticated too. Sure, plants of every description grow wild. But when plants are domesticated for large-scale food production, they are generally called crops. What about domesticated insects? Beekeeping is one of the oldest professions. What about domestic birds? A number of birds of prey are used in falconry and are trained to hunt, for us, for sport. Parrots of a wide variety can make wonderful, long-lived pets. The fine line question is always, when is something domesticated and when is it tame? These parrots also live in the wild, in rainforests, and yes, if we let them, they probably would return. Many goats, despite their long association with us, would escape into the wild if given half a chance. Would they survive? Barring attacks from predators, sure. Cats have been known to turn feral, and pariah dogs, like the New Guinea singing dog, can live in the wild while at the same time they can show us great affection. Dolphins can exist quite happily in captivity with us, and Indian elephants are often used as a source of labor or as a draft animal in Asia. We humans have raised bison in captivity, and guanacos, and quail, and turtles, and swans, and tortoises, and geese, and squirrel monkeys, and peafowl. Are they domestic animals or are they tame? To find the answer, you must look at the species as a whole, not just an individual animal. There might be some confusion. Here's a domestic animal, no question. And another, and another, and another. For our domesticated animals, we tirelessly build barns, and stalls, and erect paddocks, and build fences of every possible description. We feed these animals, sometimes by hand, and make sure their coats are shiny and clean. Where in the animal kingdom can an equid get a forelock shampoo? Outdoor salon style. The best humans give these animals the most loving and compassionate care, and are rewarded by good service, and eternal affection, and devotion. And if we need warm clothes, or milk, or even food, the domestic animals are there for us and have been for literally thousands of years. Thank you, Domesticates, for everything. For more fun animal facts and news, visit our website at www.animalatlas.tv. See you there. Don't go away. Animal Atlas will be right back. Until next time on Animal Atlas.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Phil.
People out there?
Yep, people.
Ring around the rosy. I'm dizzy.
Got him.
To be or not to be?
Bubbles.
And they're off. As they round the first turn, the zebra's in the lead because no one else is racing.
Darling, alone at last.
Tag, you're it.
Once again, we've traveled the globe from North and South America to Africa and Asia to Australia and every fascinating place in between. We've met all kinds of incredible animals and learned some important facts about their ability to survive and flourish on our planet. And with our help, we'll make sure they're around for a long time to come. Join us next week for another amazing adventure on Animal Atlas.